Most people don't have a lot of ways to save money, but if you watch this video, I'll give you a few tips on my ways that I save money. I do have a finance degree, but I will tell you this, I learned a lot of this just from my own lessons, me learning it on my own, and also my father taught me a couple of them. And I'm going to try to give you 3 really good ways that you can just save money and be able to keep saving money. And hopefully this video, it'll help you out. Number 1, and this one kind of sucks to hear, but you got to pay yourself first. Now, it's difficult to believe in that. It's difficult to believe that it's reality and that it's possible, because we all have bills, we all have payments, we all have things that we need to take care of. But pay yourself is a real thing. Some of y'all are hearing this for the first time, some of you aren't. The ones who aren't hearing this for the first time are like, that's unrealistic. How do you pay yourself first if you owe so much money and you gotta blah, blah, blah. If you'll learn to pay yourself first, it makes you a little bit more responsible with every dollar. And what paying yourself first means is make sure that every single time that you get paid, you have a set portion that is for you. And a lot of people, don't like this because they say, well, when I get my paycheck, that thing's already spent. Well, if it's already all spent, you need to learn to take a portion of it and spend it on yourself. My recommendation is to start off really small. And I mean really small. Get yourself a brokerage account and set aside a small amount. I don't want you to do anything smaller than $5. I recommend at least 10, just to keep the rounding easy, and you can just say that you started out with 10. You can do 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. Take a set amount every single paycheck and make sure that you take that amount, and no matter what comes up, you're going to take that amount and you're going to send it from your debit checking account, your DDA account, and you're going to send it to your brokerage account. Now, I'm not telling you have to invest that money when it's in there, but I am going to tell you this. The more money you put into that brokerage account, the more likely you are to buy some type of stock or some type of investment than you would be if you let it just sit inside your checking account and let it be there as money that you could just use to spend on whatever comes up. And I'm not saying that you don't have other expenses that you need to worry about, but what I am telling you is that you do need to worry about your future. When the thing about paying yourself is that when you put money aside that you're going to use to invest, the reason why this is the best, and the number one reason I brought it up, is because you take that money, invest it in something that's going to grow, possibly give you dividends. It'll grow in value so you can potentially sell it, the gains, for a profit. Whatever comes up, money that you invest goes in, and as long as it's there, it's growing you more money. And the more money that grows over time, the more money you'll eventually have, and the less you have to worry about saving, because you'll be making more money. And I know it's hard and it's not fun. I know what it's like to start from the beginning with just $100. And I'm not telling you that as someone who's only done it once. I've done it twice. It's not easy to start off with just $100 and tell yourself, well, this $100 is somehow supposed to help me be able to save. No. If you save $100 now, every month for about 2 years, you will have $2,400, and you'll probably, at that point, you'll start seeing an extra $200 coming up if you're investing in something that gives you an annual rate of about 10%. So something like S&P 500 index fund like VU, or the S&P, I think it's S&P 5 or the S&P Y. I'm not too sure about that one. I use Vanguard. I use VU. But we all have those investment opportunities to just put a little money in. And like I said before, I know that you already feel like every dollar is spent before. That's why I said take a small amount and start off really small. And I know I'm privileged enough to say I got to start with 100. For you, it may be $10, but I'm telling you, you will feel better knowing that $10 every year is growing you an extra $1 than if you just took that one $10 and just blew it today and you never saw it again. That's what you got to learn. That's why paying yourself is always important, because the money that you pay yourself today is money that gets you more money in the future. And you sometimes got to take that money and just kind of feel like, well, it was gone anyways. And that's paying yourself first. My number 2 tip: set yourself a budget of some kind. And I'm not telling you to take out a spreadsheet or to take out a pad and paper and write down every single dollar that you're going to spend, because I know that most of us are pretty good at, like, well, it's summertime, my power bill's about to be $190, my rent is 900, my car payment $175. I know. Yeah, by the way, I had a really small truck payment before I paid off my truck. Anyways, long story short, that's why you pay yourself first, by the way. The reason why I'm telling you to set yourself a budget, you need to set a budget on something that you do very routinely. For instance, I have a 9-to-5. I go to lunch 5 days a week. I'm not the biggest fan of bringing my lunch to work, but I also know that if I start spending whatever I want at lunchtime, it's really easy to spend $20 to $30 going out and eating at lunch every single day. So I don't do that. What I do is every single week I have a planned amount. And I don't even do it on Friday. Friday is my free day. I let myself kind of splurge on Friday. But Monday through Thursday, I have a budget of $40. I cannot go over that budget. If I do, I have a punishment for myself. What you do is take $40 and you say, no matter what happens, that's all I spend. And look, I'm not telling you to do 40. Some people can only do like $5 for lunch, which is very responsible. I commend you. But if you click on this video, I feel like you're like me and you like to spend a little bit of money. So, like I said, you gotta just tell yourself, like, well, start on Monday. I'm not planning on going out with friends or anything from work. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a bag of chips, or maybe I'll take some beans, and that'll be my lunch. Or I'll go to the Burger King and get the $5 meal. And as you do this, and it's partly a challenge, people, it's not completely like this is how you will do it, because we live in different towns, we live in different area codes. I live in a very poor state. I'm not in New York City, but New York even has its things. It has its like dollar pizza, and now it's probably like $2-3. I haven't been in New York in 10 years, but every place has a way to eat off cheap. And plus it's lunch. Like, you can't eat too much. It's going to make you groggy, And like I said, though, this is not just for people who work 9-to-5s. You have your thing that you do regularly. I have friends who go to the bar every night. Those kinds of people need to set a budget for their drinking. If you are one of these people that likes to go to, like some kind of entertainment place, just make yourself some kind of budget. If you're going to do something weekly and it's going to be routine, you need to set yourself some kind of little budget. And what you're doing is you're kind of building yourself up in a way where you're not just building a budget just for that one time, but it kind of grows onto you. For instance, for me, like I said, I have my lunch budget, but I've gotten to the point where even at dinner time, it's pretty easy for me to get away with only eating for like $5 at dinner too. So you'll get in the habit of just figuring out ways to spend really small, and you still will be able to do the things you like. Like, I like to go eat at this one Mexican restaurant where a lot of friends from the pool hall that I go to, they happen to work at. Typically by Thursday, I know if I have $20 left from that 40, and I can choose whether or not to go eat there. And if I don't, then I wait for Friday. Like I said, you're only doing your routine budget, and it's a routine budget. It's just getting you in the mindset of how to save money, because when you learn how to save money, then you will be able to save money. And number 3 is the one that is going to kick a lot of people in the butt. You need to have a small cash balance. And what I mean by cash balance, I don't mean like keep money in the bank account, your DDA account, and that's cash. Because from an accounting standpoint, I mean, yeah, that's right. But I'm talking about take some hard, cold, tender cash and put it in your pocket. Why do that? We are using phones and stuff so easily now that we've gotten to the point where we say, oh my gosh, I just spent like $30 on subscriptions or on music at a jukebox or just on an app, and I have no idea where the money went, but I know I didn't really get a lot out of it. That's the point. And I know cash is going away, and I know that a lot of us are really like in tune with using technology. Y'all, I love when I can take my debit card, go up to the machine, and just tap that thing and walk away. That is probably the most satisfying way for me to spend money. But everyone needs to keep a little bit of cash on them, and they need to use it for a while. This is not a forever thing, by the way. But you need to learn to use it to keep up with how money is happening. In our psychology, when you spend money with cash, you're literally getting more out of the transaction. There's actually a little mental flare that feels like pain. I'm not a scientist, but go look it up. This is a real thing. And when you spend that money and you feel that little bit of just nudge or pain, it's telling your brain like, whoa, wait a second, I just spent money, it's gone. It's actually gone. If we just spend money willy-nilly on the phone, we kind of lose the fact that it even got spent. So, and listen, don't do it for every, like I said, kind of like the monthly budget or the weekly budget. It's the same thing. You can do this even for just your weekly budget thing, or I do it at the pool hall. I have like a little bit of cash. I tell myself this is my $40 for the weekend. I know I'm going 2 nights. I can only spend this 40, and if I spend more, shame on Dylan. So I hope these 3 tips really help you out. Anyone out there who has a little trouble, saving money. A lot of times saving money takes a little bit of just courage to say, you know what, I do not know how to save, so I need to learn to save better. And I know a lot of y'all feel like these tips are unrealistic, but I'm going to tell you something. These tips are actually really small. I've told you to use small amounts, and I'm telling you it's about learning how to save more than it is actually just saving sometimes. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, please share and tell other people about it. I don't want to make just any kind of content that isn't fun, and I'm actually starting to like doing this financial stuff. I'm probably a good person to do it, honestly, even though a lot of my friends, they don't listen to my money advice, even though sometimes I tell them like, hey, if you just invested in the Bitcoin back in the anyways, you guys have a good time. Like and subscribe. Awesome.